going to buy a few businesses and let them support me. And that's what I did. And one of the businesses I bought was a catering company. And we used to do catering for all the big movies and TV series and all sorts of things. And I started going out and eating with clients and serving them my food and a tri-tip, or T-bones would come back and I'd take them home. And when I went out to different restaurants, when the waitress came up and said, you know, we have this, but we also have the queen size and the king size portions, I said, that's me, king size. And the next thing I knew, I had put on 60 pounds. But I thought to myself, you know what? This is the good life. This is what I have been working since I was 2 years old for, to be able to just go around, meet people, and sell them food, and everyone loved our food. And my dad at that time had contracted Alzheimer's disease. And we had a neurologist, actually, that used to come and do house calls on him once a week, which a lot of doctors don't do. You may not have noticed, but a lot of them don't do that. And we were very lucky to have her, and so she became a very, very good friend of mine. And she looked at me and she knew that I couldn't put on that much weight without dire consequences. And she started telling me, you know, Jerry, you ought to come in for a physical. But I thought I knew everything. I said, you know what, I'm leading the good life. And then she said again, maybe 6 months later, come on, Jerry, just come in for a physical. I said, this is the good life. Look at everyone around me. There's nothing wrong with me. Yeah, I'm a little heavy. I'll diet next week. So finally, she knew my weakness. Christmas came around, and guess what I got? I got a card that said, come in for a free physical. So I went on in, and she said to me, Jerry, you've got 3 kids. How would you like to see them graduate from high school? I said, that'd be great. Of course I do. And get married and, you know, see your grandchildren. She said, if you don't do something about your diabetes, you'll be dead in 6 months to a year is what she gave me to live. Because my blood sugars were at like 8.5 and higher all the time. And so, and I'd also noticed, just so you know, and that's the reason I'm here, that I had a lot of shooting pains in my feet. But I thought to myself, you know, I'm lifting a lot of heavy crates, and that's what it is. It's just, you know, it really hurt. And at night sometimes I'd wake up, but I still thought it just had to do with the weight. So I went in, got it. She said, you've got basically no time. You better get on it right now. So I did. I went to Jenny Craig. I'm not telling you that for any reason, except that's how I lost my weight. But I will tell you, all the diet programs are pretty much the same. There's no magic bullet. It's all portion sizes. When you eat too much, your body takes it, and then it stores it, and it goes into fat, and your body just can't support all that extra body mass. And I went in. She said, you have just a little while to live unless you lose the weight. So I went to Jenny Craig, lost the weight, and I found for myself that it wasn't that hard because I love life. And I just said, this is what I've got to do. And that's why I'm here today, to tell you that there are things you can do. And I'm not saying that most of you can do that now, because I know that there are a lot of different reasons for neuropathy and diabetes. But for me, it worked. All I did was take off the weight. And it was a really liberating experience, because I found that when I was heavier, I couldn't do a lot of the things that I had really been kind of just pushing off and saying, oh, well, you know what, I'd go for a walk with my kids, but I get too tired. I can't go here, I can't go there, because I just don't have the energy anymore. It wasn't the energy, because guess what? Since I've lost the weight, I have a lot more energy. And as far as neuropathy goes, it really, in some ways, inhibited my exercise, because I was thinking that when I walk and I got those shooting pains, it wasn't something besides just that I was too heavy, it was that I was too heavy. And then when I went in and she told me I had just a little while to live, she said, you've got diabetes, those pains in your feet, those shooting pains, that's part of it. I'd never heard of neuropathy. I'd heard of diabetes, but I thought that, you know, that's something that you got from eating too many candy bars all the time. And if you had high blood sugar, well, that must mean that you eat a lot of sugar. I'm eating only good food, so that can't have anything to do with it. So that's how I found out about my diabetes and my neuropathy. I have since lost the weight. I've lost 60 pounds. When I was in my former state, when I was a lot heavier, my A1C level, I don't know how many of you know what an A1C level is, but a normal person is below 6. I was at about 8.5, and on some of the tests, 9, which is very, very high. Right now, I'm pre-diabetic. So right now, as long as and I know that it's a disease that once you've had it, there's a pretty good chance that it will come back. And also with the neuropathy, I know that'll probably come back too. But right now, I'm pre-diabetic, and my neuropathy has, in a lot of ways, gone away. I know that this probably won't happen to a lot of you people, but if you are overweight and if you do lose some weight, maybe you'll be lucky like me, and it could happen for you. That's really the story I came to tell. Does anybody have any questions?